Hi everyone, this is Jules. I'm going to be sharing a mini album with you guys today. This is a mini album that I made for my brother actually. He had a birthday in April and I just wanted to put together some of the pictures that I had taken when we went out to dinner. I have a little camera, it's called an Instax. It's a Fuji Instax 25 and it takes little Polaroid photos. But the Polaroid pictures that come out are like the size of business cards. So they're nice and small. And they still have the writing area on the bottom so that you can, write a name or a date or something. And it was just a perfect size. So what I did is I went ahead and grabbed some of my Engraver stuff. The Engraver collection is by Prima. A lot of you guys probably already know. But if you're new to my channel, if you're new to YouTube, Engraver is the name of the paper collection that was made by a company called Prima Marketing. And let me show that to you really quick. This one here is the Engraver collection. It's a 6x6, 6-inch by 6-inch paper pad. And so yeah, these are the images of, this is what the paper looks like. Really cool papers. There's a lot of darks. To me, one of the accent colors in here is this golden brown, golden yellow, like this one here. Really pretty. And so what I did is I pulled one each of the designs. This pad has 48 sheets and there's 16 pattern papers and 3 sheets per design. So there's still 2 of each of them in here. So I pulled one of each of every single design in here, and I decided that I was going to see if I can use up, how much would I use up making a mini album, which is a 5-inch diameter round chipboard album that I have. And I have quite a bit left. I actually didn't even touch this sheet, which, as you can see, there's quite a bit to play with on this one still to cut out. I have quite a bit of this one, which I thought I was going to use more of, and I didn't. So I used almost the entire 6x6, except I used this piece for a photo mat. And then I have a baggie full of pieces. This one I thought I was going to use up a lot of, and there's a lot of the words that you can cut out. I love this sheet, is my favorite. So I did fussy cut quite a bit out, and I used a lot of the papers from the collection except for this one. So I have a video tutorial showing you how I put it together. I never film when I create a mini album, but this one's pretty small, so I hope that you guys will like that. So this video will just be me showing the actual album and then the kit that I will have for this album. The next video will be the tutorial as I'm putting it together, and I'll do a voiceover. I cut this from the wordplay die from Tim Holtz. It's a really large die and it's got all these alphabets and numbers on it. And I used some supposedly contact paper or drawer paper, cabinet paper that is made out of cork. So I cut that out and I thought that was pretty cool. To use that for the title, and I just said my day because it was his birthday. We were celebrating it at dinner, and we took him out a couple times. So I did that, and I have this particular size of album in my AccuCut die cut listing that's over on my blog, and you can buy that in a set of 5 pages or 6 pages, however you'd like. So what I did here is I used 2-inch binder rings. I used 2 of them. This is the back side. You can see I just did it about 1 inch apart and put these little ribbons on there. So I used some yellow, very light yellow tulle and a polka dotted black sheer ribbon. I used some twill tape. This is a Martha Stewart twill tape. I used a ribbon that is a chocolate brown. So I used that on both. And then over here I hung some charms from a couple of garment pins. This is from the paper collection. This is actually from a scrap piece from the 12x12 die cut sheet. I just cut a nice chunk out and ran it through a die, Tiny Tags die from Tim Holtz. And I covered the back with some designer paper and it just became a little tag. I put a few jump rings on there and hung it on a garment pin. So there's 2 garment pins here. And then, so the tag is on with the key. This is from Maya Road. And this charm is a Prima charm with a crown on it, hanging from a jump ring and a garment pin, and then I tied that with a little golden bow to highlight the yellow in the collection. So I just thought that was a nice touch and it went well with it. So let me show you the album here. So the album has a Prima flower. It's got a die cut. It's got some Blue Fern Studios, which I've been dying to play with for the longest time. But here is one of the flourishes that I painted in black, put some glossy accents on it, put it as my base. Then I set a couple of these flowers. These are Prima flowers from this package here. Sorry for the glare, you guys. So it's the black flowers. So I used a couple that I put together, and I twisted the little stems, and there's one stem hanging out here. There's another stem hanging out right here. And just did a multiple bow with my string, my jute rope here. And then layered the Prima flower and a die cut from the 12 by 12 sheet right there. And a wooden domino piece and a wooden Kaisercraft key that I have. And the majority of these will be in the kit. So I grabbed the sheets that I wanted to use, and I covered all my circles with my medium weight chipboard with the paper. And on some of the sheets I did some mixed media, some spraying and some stenciling. On this one I did the tree branches, which is by Crafter's Workshop. It's this one here. So I just used basically this very top part. I left the trunks out. I did a lot of just the branches, and you can see that the texture is really cool. You can see it lifted there. And I went and grabbed I just boiled one tea bag, and I squeezed some of the tea onto the paper here to stain a little bit of the fiber paste that I used. You can see the little the peaks of the paste on here, and some of it's stained, so you can see some of that. You can see a little bit of the staining there. So I used that and gessoed all the edges to every single page. So I also used some of the kit will also have your own package of eyelets. So I have the bronze ones back there, so I'll be pulling those out for the kit. You'll have your own packet. Now there's 5 pages for this kit, and there is 10 eyelets per color, and there's 4 different colors or shades of metal in that packet. So it'll work well to do 2 holes. It'll also come with your 2-inch binder rings, so that you can put your album together. So the next page. So here are, let me just move these over. It's kind of hard with all the little chunky trims on there. The first page has a picture of my brother and my dad, and you can see there he's wearing yellow. So that was another reason why I wanted to go with the engraver, because he was masculine and he wore yellow. So I thought it went well. So I just did a lot of layering of different elements here. There's an old scrolled paper, some document or whatever. So the paper doily back there, just a piece of one, like a quarter piece of one. Some burlap in the back. I backed every single photo on cardstock, so it's either chocolate, craft, or ivory, and I think one of them just has the ruler's paper on it. But I cut out a lot of the words from the paper and put them on a lot of the pages. So this is the first time that I'm actually making a mini album with pictures in it, and I have to tell you that this is one of the easiest mini albums that I've ever made. I made it in like under 16 hours, 15 hours, something like that. All I was thinking about of putting it together and arranging it is just making tiny little layouts on a tiny little space of 5 inches diameter, and some of them are even smaller, like I have a lot of this background showing, and it's just the photo and a couple little elements here and there. But I really like that. I really enjoyed making the album with the photographs in it. It just helped a lot because I was able to do add things on top of the photo like that, and I was able to just complement the photograph with different little things. So I really like that. This is a Studio Calico camera piece. There's a banner back there and a Jenny Bolin bingo card. I fussy cut a flower from the collection and set that there. And this is a Tim Holtz piece and a Leaky Shed gear, and has some arrows here, and it still spins around. And then a yellow flower, a really creamy flower from Walter Crafts. Really like those little guys, and I used a lot of the littler flowers on this album. This one here is a picture of my mom and my brother, and again I did the burlap behind it, but behind the burlap you can see the mixed media part that I did use. I used a mask from the Sunset or Sunrise Sunset collection. Love this too. It's like it's a grungy daisy to me. That's what I call it. They don't have names on it. I don't know why Prima does that. They don't name their stencils, and it's kind of weird. It's an item number, but there's an item number. Anyways, so I did the masking on here. I brushed or did the fiber paste. I used fiber paste for the stencil. Then I brushed on some gesso, and I should have done the gesso first, but you know, you live and you learn. So after I went ahead and brushed some gesso on there to get some streaky marks of the gesso, then I went with a black marker and just traced around all the little daisy petals on all the little flowers there. And then I sprayed or leaked on some Lindy Stamp Gang sprays in the golden yellow. So there's that. I should probably glue that down a little bit more. Here's a little miniature piece that came from the bingo card set. One of Anna's or Finn's from her Sunrise Sunset collection is a little clock piece. It's a small one. And from the Engraver collection is the buttons here with some twine and some banners. Prima flower, Wild Orchid Crafts leaf and flower, and a Tim Holtz little paper clip. The next page has a picture of my brother, and I did a lot of layering. And you can see there's a Tim Holtz viewfinder, or I can't remember the name of it, a picture wheel, something like that, or image wheel, something like that. So there's half of it sitting back behind Danny's picture here, and then he's the photo mat is the ruler paper. And a number 1 from the die cut sheet. This is a tag or a tab from the die cut sheet, a button, and the button is sitting on 2 leaky shed gears. Another little yellow flower, some paper layering, a little banner back down here. Prima flower with the arrow from Pink Paisley. I just left it white, but there's a couple banners back here. And then I used the word remembering. And the next page is one of my mom. And the background kind of came out really soft with some soft kind of pinkish tones. And I also did a mask on this one from Crafter's Workshop, which is the numerals, mini numbers collage. And it looks like this. So I just laid it back on the paper and used some frayed burlap and just dabbed all the way around it. So there's a little bit of numbers showing back there, and up here is like a top of a 3 or something. So it did well right on top of the gesso. It still took it well. Layered a few papers from the collection behind her with the doily. Used one of the vines. This is one of these little flowers or little vine packs. And I have quite a bit left over here. Fussy cut a key out. This is from the Almanac collection. I still had it sitting in a bowl here, so I used that. She was wearing pink, so I went ahead and highlighted it a little bit with using a little bit of pink here and there. A filigree flower from Wild Orchid Crafts. Here's some of the stems sticking out, and just did clusters of the little Gypsophila flowers up there, and a little bit of gesso on there, and that's how that came out. I really like that page. This is me and my hubby, and we're on a very dark piece of paper here. I did photo mat us on some craft paper, did a piece of the ruler strip right next to us, some Blue Fern Studio flourish, Pink Paisley star. I used 2 of them here. There's one there and one there. And I did the same concept as I did on the cover, except that I pulled them apart just a little bit more to gap it. So there's this stem here is from that flower, and this stem up here is from that flower. So I just crisscrossed them. Wild Orchid Crafts rose and a Wild Orchid Crafts little brown turquoise flower, little rose. And then I pulled out Fun Memories from the paper collection from the word sheet and just attached them there, distressed it. Really like this page too, came out really nice. And it's a picture of Danny when we took him out. My husband and I took him out to eat some lobster. The lobster buffet at this casino was really cool. And he really enjoyed it. I was really happy because he's like, I didn't think you guys were going to take me out. It was just nice. I had so much fun, and it was just really nice to hear that from him. So here's a couple of lobsters actually on his plate. See how humongous those are? Really cool. So I put him on craft paper as well, and I cut out a bunch of little strips of paper and cut out some fishtails at the ends of those and did an explosion of banners to celebrate him. A bunch of banners there. Took a little bit of time to get them all arranged, but it worked out fine. I have to probably glue this down, but I really had fun with this page. A little tab from the die cut sheet and a couple layers of paper back there from the designer paper. Half of a flourish from Blue Fern, Prima flower from the Engraver collection, a couple more of the flowers from Wild Orchid Crafts, a Pink Paisley word that I sprayed down with Lindy Stamp Gang. It has this embossed resist polka dots on there, So there's little white polka dots showing on there. And then I did a little banner with some burlap and a Tim Holtz pin. And I threw some gesso on the word there so it'll pop out. And it says thoughts. And the number 17 is on there. So that was pretty simple. It was fun. And I knew I wanted to use this particular photo to do this celebration type of a theme on the layout of this page. So the next page is my husband and my daughter. It's Manny and Anna. And what I did here is put them on craft paper as well. Cut out some different pieces from the collection. So I cut out a key, fussy cut out a key. I fussy cut this flower, looks like a hydrangea, and with the leaves and stuff. Postcard, an old stamp, the word sweet. There's a button here with the number 4 on it, and a pen nib from Tim Holtz that says thoughts on there. Walter Crafts flowers there. Jenny Bolin little card, bingo card, again with the little paper clip. Gessoed all over, so it looks really nice and shabby. And then this one is of Anna with her uncle. So I backed them on some chocolate cardstock right there. A Prima flower and a Walter Crafts flower. And this is just some berry vines that I had in my stash here. A Tim Holtz numeral plaque. I just put some jute twine in there, and I wanted to have it go at an angle, but because, I don't know, it just kept slipping. So I just cut a slit in the chocolate cardstock there and there. So I slipped the string through it or on it so it stays in place, and then just glued it down. I did cut out a clock piece, and I cut it in half, so there's half of a clock sitting right here, and there's another half a clock sitting back behind the flowers right in there. This is the other half of the blue fern flourish paper just layered behind it. And on this sheet here, I went ahead and just sprayed some Lindy Stampking. I sprayed it up here and I let it run down sideways, and so it's got these drippy marks right here. You can see just a little bit of it. This arrow is from the Pink Paisley arrows package, which looks like, here are the stars and here are the arrows. This is fun playing with these. And so I just used some Distress ink to brown it, dingy it up a little bit, and then I used some gesso around it, like 4 or 5 layers, because it kept turning brown and brown and brown, so I was trying to get it as white as I could. And then a little Aster Daisy there from Walter Crafts, and a cutout. These are tickets, and I did score it so that it looked like tickets. See, there's this line on there. And I think that is it. And then on the last page, I did used a Maya Road envelope. So I grabbed one of the littler envelopes, and I just glued it, glued the very edge, and left the top part open, and then I made this little pocket. These are some 7 Gypsies cards. These are some ATC cards, but I just like that they were blank and you can write whatever you wanted on these. So I really like that. So I cut them down just a little bit, and I made them able to fit behind the envelope. I did a bingo card from the paper collection. I just cut that out. And another piece here with a flourish. There's another designer piece of paper back there in that mocha color. Just tucked it back there. Cut this from the word sheet. It says memories. A couple Wild Orchid Crafts flowers. Again, a Prima flower, and then a Tim Holtz paper clip. And then a Maya Road pin that I just glued the a number 2 button on there. And the Maya Road pins look like this. So, and I also did the fins masking, the stencil masking, with some gesso, and added that texture right on top of the Maya Road envelope. So, and I also edged it all the way around as much as I could. What I didn't do is open this envelope to show you guys what it is that was in here. But this is just some leftover photos. There's 3 left, and of course I wasn't going to make an 8-page mini album, but I do have these that were left over, and all I did was put these on photo mats, and I inked, not inked, but I added some gesso to the edges of all the pages, and yeah, so That's why there's an envelope at the end, and if my brother wanted to like write something on the back of these, he could, or he could actually just write something on these cards, these ATC cards that I added in the back, right just behind the envelope there. But so that's the last page there. I am so happy with this. I think he's gonna like it. This is my mini album, and I hope you guys liked it. I really had fun making it, so I'm gonna be sharing it in a kit for you guys in the next video. So if you have any questions about it though, let me know. Thanks again, you guys. I'll talk to you later. Jule signing out of the Jule box. Bye everyone. Alright, so let me show you what is in the kit. Things will vary, like some of the titles on bingo cards, some of the shapes of the chipboards from Blue Fern, some of the buttons, some of the die cuts, and some of the flowers. There'll be some differences in that. And Lamaya wrote envelope, and then like the charms and the clock face and the word tag. So just so that you guys know, but the contents are basically the same, except that some of the designs will be different. Okay, now the paper, a normal paper pad, a 6x6 paper pad, has 3 of each sheet of each design. So what you're going to get is the stack of 2 of each sheet from the collection in the 6x6 size, and then there'll be some cardstock, like some black ivory and craft, and then there'll be some strips of this chocolate. You might be able to see the bottom part of it right here, but I have like a nice thick stack of them, and I don't want them to go to waste, and they're perfect for maybe die cutting some things, creating some pockets. For small enough photos, you can use them as photo mats. So there'll be 3 of those strips in there. And then there'll be a couple of pieces for the Blue Fern Studios, the chipboard. They won't all be the same, especially these here, this long one here. But there'll be the corners, I believe all of them have the same corners. You'll get a package of the warm, wide eyelets by We Are Memory Keepers. And for my album, and I think I mentioned it in the video, I used 5 pages, and I used 2 eyelets per page, and that would be 10 eyelets. And each of these shades, there's 10 of each shade of the warm metal. And I believe I used this one here. It's a copperish gold kind of. There'll be a package of brads. I forgot I had these. I totally forgot to use mine for my album. So there'll be a whole package of those brads. And then the very cute and simple 5-inch diameter chipboard circles for the mini album. And looking at the album, you guys can see that it's a nice size. I mean, it fits the photos nice, and you can create quite a cute little layout per page. There'll be 2 of the white paper doilies, these 2 here. There'll be a die cut of the picture wheel of the Tim Holtz, and I'm using chipboard because it gives dimension. And so I used the black chipboard, and I'm not going to put the black chipboard in the kits because you can't paint it or anything except for covering it with some paper. But it's hard to do that with all the little squares that's in there. And if you try to gesso black chipboard, it bleeds through because of the dye that's on the chipboard. So I figure if we do this one, at least you guys can paint it a certain color if you wanted to. If you're, like, I highlighted some yellows and very light soft pinks in my mini album. And so if you're wanting to highlight a specific color, if you wanted to paint or just kind of do like distress work on it or whatever, the craft takes the paint way better, and it takes gesso way better than the black one does. There'll be a Myra envelope, and these are the small ones, just big enough to fit in your mini album, but these are 3.5 by 3.5. And the kits will only vary the design of the envelope. And I believe I only used a couple of these in my mini album, but there'll be 3 of the little wooden camera veneers from Studio Calico. And they also did a package of canvas die cut shaped cameras, which I'm also including in there so that you can spray it or stamp it if you want to. So there'll be that. There'll be some of the Seven Gypsies ATC cards that I only used a couple of them in my album, but you have more than enough stuff here to probably create 2 mini albums if you wanted to. I had quite a bit left over of things, and I added some additional stuff in the kits that I did not even use in my mini album. So you're getting quite a lot of stuff for a really good deal. So there's 4 of the 7 gypsies, like I said, to do some journaling if you wanted to. There's a couple of these bingo cards from Jenny Bolin, and the packaging on the back has a regular size card that shows you which card is, or what words are on the cards. And I use these in my mini albums as well, the Engraver one, and they're really cute. I mean, you can totally cut it out, you can read it, you can see the numbers on it, and I thought that it would be a cute addition for the kit. So that's going to be in your kit there. And for the collection, there's like the wooden buttons. There's 5 in each kit. You'll get 2 of the 2-inch binder rings for your mini album, and this is the same size that I use, and I almost always use it 2 inches because my albums come out pretty chunky. You'll get, I think this is 2 yards of jute twine, so you'll get that. There's some die cuts. These are from Pink Paisley. I think they're called chipboard elements. But there's some stars, different size stars, different size arrows, some chevron. Here's a star with a little star cut out of it, and here's a small little arrow. And these vary, like the designs will vary in the kit. From the 12x12 sheet of die cut stickers by Prima for the Engraver collection, there's 3 different titles per sheet, and I pulled out one for each kit. So there's, this one says family, there's one that says love, and I think the other one says together. So you can use those for your titles if you want to, or on another page. And then I will customize the title for you if you want. I will cut out whatever title you would like to use. If you want to do the cork like I did for the cover of my album, you just got to tell me what word it is that you want. Now you have to just keep in mind though that the mini album is the 5 inches, so you can only fit so much on there. So, we got to be realistic with what's going to fit in your mini album. But I will customize the title for you and cut it out of my cork board that is like contact paper. So yeah, I just wanted to make sure you guys knew that. So you don't think that this is the only title that you can use. So there is 8 pieces of chipboard from the 12x12 sheet. Oop, I just dropped that. But these will all vary in design as well. And then there's a couple of other wooden pieces. There's the wooden domino, which is the one that I used on my cover, and a Kaisercraft little key. There is a Tim Holtz fragment tag, and all of them have a different shape. The kits each have a different shape, but there is one in your kit. Now for your medals, the Engraver collection came out with a pack of 4 different charms. So each kit also varies in design. There is a Tim Holtz name tag or word tag. That one says Simplify, and then there's going to be a clock face, which is something that I used in mine. This is an addition. I didn't even use this in mine, in my album. There'll be a Maya Road antique or vintage key. I can't remember what she called it, but there's a metal key there. A couple of Maya Road pins, and I only used 1, so there's 2 in the kit. There's also a Tim Holtz pen nib. There's a game spinner here. There's a memo pin. There's a brad that you can use for the spinner and the clock if you wanted to. There's a couple of the vintage garment pins. There'll be 2 of those, and this is what I use to hang the charms off the binder rings. And then there'll be 3 of the little miniature paper clips. And then we get down to Prima flowers. So they're going to vary in color and some sizes. Like not all of them will have this big flower. I think this is the only one that will have this one big flower. So you'll get that and some other Prima ones. This is, let me see, 3, 6, 7. There's 7 of these Prima flowers, and then you'll get 4 of the paper leaves. These are from Wild Orchid Crafts. You'll get 4 of those. And then from the Engraver collection, you'll get one of the vines. This is the cream and the beige vine, and you'll get 1 per kit. And then these, one of the newer released flowers, which are these like closed ones, and then they have the wire and the leaf where you can open it to make it look like it's bloomed. So there's 4 in each kit, and they'll come in the black. All of them have the black ones. And then from Wild Orchid Crafts, there's quite a selection here of flowers. So here's some roses. Here's some, I think these are 15 millimeter. These are the 8 millimeter. Then you get 2 of the closed rosebuds here, and then the gypsophillas, and then the goodness gracious, I can't remember. Gypsophila, and anyways, they look like little carnations, and you can see here, this one's a packet or a bundle of 10. This one's a bundle of 5. This one's a bundle of 10, 3, and 2. And then you'll get some cream colored cherry blossoms. So this is just to stay neutral within the color that's already in the paper collection. And then there's some trims and ribbons. These 3 here are the ones that I used on the binder rings, and these are like 18, 19 inches. They're kind of roughly cut, but there's this chocolate ribbon here. There's this Martha Stewart twill, and then this organza black with white polka dots. These 3 ribbons here. Then you'll have some laces, like one of from my listing. Actually, 4 of these are from my listings. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, this one here is from my listing. This is the caramel petite ruffle. I believe that's 18 inches of this one, and then this one here is 12 inches of the swirly rose in the shabby chic design in the black. Then there's a couple here that are from my listing as well. There's this ivory or cream picot edge trim. You'll get a full yard of that, and then the beige crochet trim. You'll also get a yard of this one. And then from this last one here is Patsy's seam binding ribbon that is adorable in like every single project, any project. So there is that one, and a 12 by 12 piece of burlap. And I just tied this to keep it closed, but you'll get a full 12 by 12 sheet of this natural colored burlap. And I did use, if you saw the video, I did use a lot of burlap for a backdrop for a lot of the pages, for the layouts on the pages. And like I was saying, you can use, like, a lot of this stuff is going to go quite a long way. You're going to have a lot of stuff left over. If you guys have any questions, let me know. And the tutorial for how I put my album together is in the next video. So I'll link that down below in the description box so you guys can get to that. It felt very, very good to have it all done with the pictures and stuff in it. So I can't wait to give it to my brother because I think he's going to really, really, really like it. So, all right, you guys, again, if you have any questions, let me know. Okay guys, so this is the small kit, and if and you can probably already tell that there is a lot less in this kit than there was in the larger kit. And so I just wanted to do something like this so that it's a lot more affordable. In this kit, basically, it does have the same kind of idea as the original mini album, with the 5 pages, the same engraver collection. But in this case, there is only one of each, which is what I used to make my album. And that's all you really need. There's a couple doilies, some cardstock. These are 8.5 by 11 cardstock. There's an ivory, there's a craft, and a black. There's no chocolate in this one at all. There's a couple of the larger binder rings, either the 2 inch that I always use, and some Prima flowers, just a small pinch full, and some Wild Orchid Crafts flowers that I have. There are some of the wooden buttons. There are some die cuts from the collection. And then there's some other like little wooden pieces. I don't have any of the blue fern flourishes, but I do have some Maya Road ones that you can do the exact same thing with. You can stamp it, you can paint it, you can emboss it however you want. There's a couple of flourishes there. There's quite a bit of brads. You don't get a whole full packet like the large kit. You get this is about half the packet. And then just eyelets for the album. You just get 10, and they come in black and in this glossy finish. Okay, the only thing that's going to be different is that the design that is on the brads, you'll get a different version because this is about half of the packet. The buttons, you'll get different numbers and a different design, still from the Engraver collection. The die cuts are kind of the same, but you know, of course, there's going to be some difference in that too. What's not going to change is the design of the paper, but you only get one of each. And then there's some trims here. You'll get the crochet, you'll get the caramel ruffle, petite ruffle, and then you'll get one of the this is the non-name brand picot edge in the ivory. And you don't get the shabby chic swirl rose in the black, the shabby chic trim in that, but you do get the ruffle, the little organza ruffle, and you get half a yard in those. This is some chocolate brown ribbon from Patsy's store on Etsy, so you'll do get that, and then some jute twine here. So basically you have the main things, and then you can just add your own little things to it. Each of these kits will get either the fabric or the washi for the engraver, and that's just me having these extra ones, and I just want to throw it in there as a bonus gift. So that's pretty much it. So even the larger kits, it's not in the photo, but I'm letting you know in the video. I do have 5 of them there, and I do have 5 kits that I'm putting out. And so yeah, you'll get one of these, either the fabric or the washi tape, just as a bonus gift, as a thank you, and you can just apply it to your mini album. So don't forget that with the small kit as well as with the large kit, I am still doing the customized title that I can cut out for you from the corkboard sheets that I have. And there is a button, a PayPal button that I tried to create. I'm hoping that it works. Where you can, if you're purchasing a kit and you're checking out, I believe it's in the checkout page, where you can type in the little box. All you have to do is write in the title that you want. Alright, you guys, thanks again. I'll talk to you soon. Jules, signing out of the Jule box. Bye, everyone.